Hello, this is Alekius, and welcome back to BeamNG, Kiev Motors, where today not only are we testing our Kiev motor vehicles, we have this lovely Dragon Premium Motors import from Deluha, courtesy of LightningDragon, the Slepream GT Sport 70. Looks very much like a muscle car to me. Ooh, I love how he squeezed the grill and the lights in there. Even has a few fog lights. Taking a look underneath, see it's a V8 with a muffler in there. Thank you, Lightning. This one was 1964 model year. Production year is 1970. GT 2-door coupe, 3,000 pounds, rear-wheel drive, 4-gear manual with a V8 3-liter single overhead cam with 4 valves, producing 180 horsepower. So, is that a flat plane? Oh, she's heavy like a pig. Oh yeah, that corner is a little dicey. Let up on the gas a little, and jeez. Alright, I have to be easy on the gas. It is 180 horsepower, I shouldn't be too surprised. Especially without any assists. Brake a little bit early, come around the band hammerhead. Fishtail just a little bit. Come to Caswell's carousel. This should be the next opportunity for me to have issues. No need to brake. A little bit of gas. Get her straight and floor it. Hey, that worked out well. She should shine on this back straight. Charging down the way. High speed cornering under power is acceptable. That's actually pretty ideal. 110, we're gonna brake early. Get some gas in there to avoid touching the outer wall. Slow down further. We'll hit the gravel, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I think I'm getting a feel for her. Alright, come to the chicane. Oh, just barely. And we have Pomsicle. You'll notice I'm not using all gas because I'm afraid of that oversteer. Ooh, a little wiggly. Yep, got into an oscillation, and on a controller it's a little bit harder to control. Lower it down. Definitely, I probably could have used some gas through the Cossack corner. Last, the Lamb's Hope. Ooh, transitioned nicely. Floor it. Not too bad. Definitely not a Stig run. Automation Stig had clocked her in at 2 minutes 43 seconds, decimal 870. We pulled off a 3:15.851, which as I forget to... Oh, geez. That puts her close to the top, not surprising considering the power. Okay, here we are. Handling course. We'll use a little bit less gas. I probably should have floored it. There's where the power gets out of control. Probably a little bit too high a cam. Does give it more power, but having that power more evenly distributed, I think would have benefited the Slepream a bit. Not just on the automation course, but also the rest of the courses. Or I guess I should say, not just on the other courses, but also the test circuit, possibly even the drag, especially for the quarter mile. I'm getting a feel for her though. She's not too uncontrollable. She's got power to spare. She's got enough understeer that it makes her controllable, unless you get into that oscillation. You can definitely apply some power, just don't floor it in the corners and you'll be fine. Definitely need a lot of brake to brake at gas, good in straight lines. It really feels like an American muscle car of the early 70s with a European sports engine in it. A plus-sized European sports engine, because it does sound like a flat plane. It handles like an American muscle car, but it's got the displacement I would expect from a modest American muscle car. It's not ridiculously huge engine, like some of them were. Third place on the handling track, not too bad. Alright, here we are on the uphill. Yeah, that low end is just so sluggish. I think we're definitely going to see how I predict she'll struggle a little bit on the uphill, mostly because of that cam profile. Get on the brakes, gonna have to be cautious with her, because having a lot of the weight transferred off the front is gonna make her a little bit squirrely. Power is nice for powering out, well, not powering out of these corners, but powering between these corners. She definitely has enough brakes too, so if you're gonna have this much power, you're gonna have wheels this big. Thank you, Lightning. I don't know what I would have done with small wheels. I would slid all over the place. But if you're gonna have this much power, having the brakes to back it up is really nice. Now that I've gotten a little bit used to how she handles, this is definitely doable. I would even say enjoyable. It's not my style of driving, not in games at least. But it's definitely enjoyable. It does not suffer from oversteer. Oh, I'm really interested to see how a 3,000-pound vehicle deals on this ice. I'm really gonna have to use a lot less gas. Ooh. Power through it, it'll be fine. Not gonna happen. can I get out of first gear? And part of that's my problem, not the vehicle. Oh jeez. Slides like a hockey puck. Despite the large tires. With a rather high profile, I might add. The rims are very narrow. Or small. That makes her a bit grippy. Still comes in fourth. That's very respectable. 238,659. For those wondering, the weight to power ratio is calculated to be 17, which is our second highest to date. So here we are in the Slepream, downhill. And yeah, as I suspected, we could actually floor it initially without wheel spin on the ice. Handles okay. Gotta be careful. I did not check the undercarriage too carefully. I should check the size of tires from now on, because I have a feeling that oh yeah, those are decently fat tires. I think that's, and the high profile. Small rim diameter, high profile tires. It's really giving her the advantage on the ice for how heavy she is. I would have expected much worse, but she's doing just fine. Past the rock fall, a little bit dicey. I'm still getting a bit more used to this vehicle. I'm starting to like it more as I get used to it. Congratulations, Lightning. I feel like you made a muscle car I can enjoy, even if it is a Frankenstein of American European. Did Europeans even have a muscle phase? I'm not sure. I'm not a car expert. I know some things. I do not know everything. Not even enough to call myself anything more than an enthusiast. I know some of the old American muscle. One of my favorite cars stylistically is a 1967 Corvette Stingray, which I think was late in the Stingray 1 when they kind of refined the aesthetics a little bit. But before they got the 70s Corvette Stingray 2 with those god-awful wheel well flares, which I do not like at all. Nice! And the Slepream wins the downhill. And if you watch the outtakes, you'll understand why I am amused by that. And I think she won the downhill primarily because of those fat tires, despite that heavy weight. So here we are in the Slepream on the city course, braking with traditional a little bit so that I can stay more used to the vehicles. They're getting a little bit more difficult to drive, and this tends to be my Achilles heel. It's going through this course. Ignore those extra skid marks. Slepream seems to be pretty much what we noticed on the automation uphill. The front end, the weight transfers all the way to the back. She's a little bit squirrely, but she's controllable. And then we hit this RPM, low RPM, lack of power. She struggles because of that cram profile, which I think was probably a little too aggressive. Does make the high end lively. Transition into the downhill, see how the suspension handles. Plenty of travel. Probably should have waited till she settled, but I'll take it. Well, I was saying probably should have waited for her to settle before applying brake, but I usually brake both at the top of that hill, and I forgot this time. Alright, she's stable. Lay on the power. Oh, oversteer. Stable again, lay on the power. Definitely got long gears. Staying in first until 53 miles an hour, I think that was. Maybe that's more of the problem and less the cam. Because yeah, in the 4 to 6 range, 6,000 RPMs, the cam profile makes the engine feel lively. It's definitely aggressive cam, but maybe it's not as aggressive as I was thinking. Maybe it's more an issue of the gearing. Because second gear's fine. Alright. Past the car shop. Cement factory with a little bit of gravel for the tires. We'll brake a little bit early. Well, she still accelerates even at that low end, so she has the power. We come across for... and of course, 5th. I'm not too surprised by that. It's not really aptly made for that kind of uphill, downhill, sharp turn, short, straight track. I think she did rather well, though. And she did nab the downhill award. It's our new crown. Barring an upset from one of the other ones. Here we are on the highway where I'm going to floor it from the beginning. And not getting that wheel spin. Not until the top of first gear. Second gear comes in quite nicely into the power band. 19,277, that is pretty good. I think that puts her 4th. And because she only has 3? No, she has 4 gears. Ooh, 4th feels like overdrive, even in the middle of the power band. Well, she still picked up some speed. 3rd overall with a 46,347. Oop. Forgot to put the leading 0, otherwise Excel freaks out. Thinks I'm putting in something else. And the 19.260 for the quarter mile. And what we're looking at is a little bit like this. Like I said, she did really well in the downhill. She's our new leader, eking out in front of the Balo and the Bantam. Still surprised the Bantam did so well on that. And you can see the weight to power ratios. What else was notable? She did poorly compared to her average on the city circuit. How'd she do overall? 13.4. 13.4. The Balo had a 12.58. Grot SS did better. And that's it. She's 3rd overall from the looks of it, unless I missed something. Really well. I was worried when I saw the horsepower she was putting out. And so you can see all the rest of the stats in case you missed it earlier. And that weight to power ratio, ideal, but with that weight, I was really concerned. Well done, Lightning. I approve of the wheels you put on her, everything. It really came together and really surprised me, vehicle-wise. But with that, we should get to our second car for this go-around. So here we have the Warczec LS, that's the light sport. Model year was just 1 year after the Slepream, 1965 instead of 64. Production year was also one year after. 1971 instead of 1970. Light Sport instead of a GT market, still a two-door coupe, although this one's definitely a lot more sleek. A lot less weight. The LS is 1,800 pounds, the Slepream being 2,900, both rear-wheel drive. This one has a 5-gear manual instead of 4-gear manual. Almost put in a 4-gear. What I'd done in my test run, but as I said, I don't typically stick to the same thing. And has about a little bit less than half the engine displacement. Where that 4-cylinder is a 1.3 liter, the Slepream had a 3 liter. But it is dual overhead cam. We both have 4 valves. This one pushes out 110 horsepower. And coincidentally, that gives both vehicles the same weight to power ratio, 17. Automation stick did a little bit better in the Warczec, or Warczec. So let's see how she runs the automation test track. Here we get up to speed. I think she handles that low end a little bit better. Woo! Responsive on the turning. A little bit of oversteer under power. Everson's S's were just fine. And she does 8,000 RPMs instead of 6. Oh man, I didn't even need to brake. This is more my actual desired style in most games. Like, I'll take a Lotus Elise that has been tuned up rather than, I don't know, what would I pit that up against? The Bentley seems overkill, like the Bentley would slaughter the Elise. I think you get my picture though. I like less power, lighter weight vehicle because the power is more than enough for it. Alright, hitting 105, high speed, under power. Little bit of oversteer, just a hair, not much. And 200, brake. Braking is very adequate. Steering under braking is better than most of the others. Definitely handles cornering while under power pretty well. Coming up on the kill rob chicane. Let's see if we can push it to 75. Yeah, that was too early. So we'll seek to have a better line so we can get under power sooner. Get onto the Palmsicle. I'm veering off track wildly because I glanced over to see my map. I have a map on the other screen so I can tell you what a well-known part of it the track is. Got a little bit squirrely, that's my fault. Didn't handle the controller as well as I should have. Adams Apex, now we have Cossack Corner. I will let up on the gas, but we'll try not braking. I probably could have used like 20 to 40% of power there. Come around Lamb's Hope, floor it. 50, 60, 70, 76. Comes in third. That puts her actually significantly ahead of the Slepream, but it is my style. And I wasn't used to the Slepream yet at this point. It's not entirely fair. I anticipate the Warczec LS will do better on this one as well. Actually, she came in third. The Grot SS should have had a better time. and still did, even though I did poorly on the automation circuit with her. And the Balo definitely had a better time around the automation circuit. But here we are in the handling circuit. Managed to talk my way through the entire loading screen. Okay, that speaks well for the uphill. Handling while the weight is transferred to the rear of the vehicle went pretty well. Probably just lightly tap the brake rather than hammering it like I'm used to. Just for a little bit of extra steering. Definitely feels like she's zipping through this course pretty quickly. Maybe it's just because she's lower to the ground. And the very responsive handling feels faster rather than actually being faster. I'll have to look at the footage. Handles very well though, very controllable. Under power, under braking. Really like how she turned out. I wasn't expecting her to be this good. I expected automation to steer me towards a little bit too much oversteer. But this is just right, like just enough oversteer to make the handling very responsive. But she gets unstable. She self-corrects pretty well. Like I've only oscillated a couple times. Alright, not the optimal line through that final corner. Lost a few miles an hour. On top of the pack by leaps and bounds. 6 seconds. Here we are in the Warczec LS. Really pleased with how this came out. It was kind of the car I envisioned building in the automation series. 4 cylinders, lightweight, sports vehicle for sure. I think she'll do very well on this uphill. As long as I don't get too aggressive. Those gutters are wheel slayers. Definitely apply a decent amount of power on the turns. Ah yes, even with the weight transferred back to the rear, she's handling very well. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I think she's going to take the record, be the new crown for the uphill. Oh yeah, decent amount of power in the middle of that. Could have even done more. Oh yeah, too much braking on that one. I am worried about the gravel there. It does have an effect on how well the car steers. Coming around. Absolutely terrible line. And my fault, not the car. Now we'll see how she does on the ice. Maybe where the Slepream has her beat in direct competition. She's doing alright. Gets stuck in that first, second gear oscillation I've seen on some of the other ones. She handles alright. Definitely able to maintain a little bit more speed, more smoothly. And there we go. Number 1 by 5.5 seconds. 2:18.070. Let's get her turned around. Alright, here we are in the Warczec. Downhill. Flooring it on the ice worked out okay. I want to ease up now though, because we gotta get through this turn. Ooh, dicey. It's alright, she didn't need that light anyways. It's more aerodynamic now. Slepream might have her beat on the ice. It's hard to tell. Fat tires on the Slepream were definitely making her settle into this quite well. We'll see though. Oh wow. A little bit of gas and that worked out well. I was worried there for a second. Around the hairpin. A little bit of understeer, I might say. Maybe too much weight transferring forward. It might be that Slepream beats her out on the downhill. It's hard to tell at this point. Warczec definitely has better handling, since I can use some power in the middle of a turn and not get all squirrely. Oh, that was almost a beautiful hairpin. Oh, please don't break the wheel. I'll laugh if this ends up being the same outtake as the Slepream. Oh, looks like the wheel's intact. On to the final. There's some steering issue, but that's okay. Try to use that to our advantage. Slows her down a little bit, but I think that's pretty gosh darn good. Number one by almost 6 seconds again. I think she's gonna take the crown from the Balo. Here we are in the Warczec LS on the city circuit. I'm excited to see if I can do this in one run. Totally just jinxed myself. First turn came out well. We already saw the uphill handling went very well. It's very low to the ground though. So I know the downhill hops will be very interesting. No dead zone in the uphill. On the RPM, past the church, transition to the downhill section. Be the true test of the suspension. And oh yeah, she bounces. But it's controllable. Don't get to apply a lot of power on the downhill, but that's okay. We'll go around the curb. Floor it. A little bit of oversteer. That palm tree looked very inviting for a moment. Yeah, still no dead zone on the uphill. But she does have more red line to work with. Okay, that's a little too aggressive through that turn. Ah, just damaged the suspension. Hit that curb a little too hard. Oh, please don't lose a wheel. Past the cement factory. Brake for second to last turn. Uphill, around the corner. Floor it for the home goal. That's 2:17.978, which is second only to the Grot SS. Possibly just because I hit that curb. Here we are on the highway strip, where I think the Warczec LS has a chance of taking the crown. Doesn't have the raw power, but she has appropriate gearing. She has low drag. Got a good weight to power ratio. And I forgot to look at the quarter mile. Oh well. Pushing up to 100. Shifts down to 5th. Struggles to apply that power. And she comes in 3rd. I'm not entirely surprised by that. So that's a 0.17859 for the quarter, which is just a hair behind the Balo, which did have oodles of power, great weight to power ratio, and decently good gearing. Then we have 45 seconds and a quarter for the overall, which beats out the Slepream, but not the Balo. The Balo was pretty well put together. So, for those interested, here's our overall. Slepream had 13.4, Warczec had 12.27, which puts her as the new leader. Now, let me get rid of those so the colors look a little bit better. Across the board, fantastic. Very pleased with it. Not disappointed at all with the Slepream, which very good showing to go into this with. Another quick review of how that came out. Really, it's that late weight, 1,100 pounds, 1,150 pounds lighter. One extra gear to work with, a little bit tighter gearing. Stayed in the power band a little bit better. So I was able to apply that weight to power ratio a bit better. And here we are on the track graveyard because no import survives testing in Archana's test track. Sad to see this one go. I shockingly enjoyed it. Woo! Nope, not gonna do it that early. Go down. Oh, she's a pig. By which I mean she's big. Since those hills are really showing how long the car is. Oh. Whoop, whoop, nope. Handles those curves really nicely. Oh, jeez, not good for the undercarriage. All right. Get up our ripples. Oh. Can she do it? Well, let's back her off then. Oh no. Stuck. Alright then. Just make this easy then. Oh, okay, I need more speed than that then. There we have it. Foreign material stolen. well destroyed. Although she handled the off-road track really well, considering how much punishment that undercarriage took. But regardless, hope you all had fun watching these cars go through the test circuit. I appreciate you staying to the end. Please let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. Let me know below in the comments. And I will see you next time. Take care.